Hey everyone, Bonnie here, and today we're gonna have a little bit of a serious chat. I don't have anything insightful. Well, I might, I don't know. But I'm gonna talk about my mental health and how it affects my practice and what I do within my practice to help my mental health. So, I've mentioned before that I have schizophrenia and bipolar, anxiety, and PTSD. I've gone into further detail in past videos. So I did one 8 years ago, one 6 years ago, one 4 years ago, and I'll have them all linked in the description if you want to go back and hear my story from the beginning. If you don't, that's okay. But yeah, it seems like every 2 years I contemplate about my mental health and what that means to me and how it affects my spiritual practice. So recently, as most of you know by now, my ex-husband put hands on me. Back in April, I finally called the cops. It wasn't the first time, but it was going to be the last time because it's been on and off for the past 20 years, and he's an alcoholic and he has his own traumas that he holds a lot of hate and resentment, and I'm the easiest target to blame. So it's been a wild ride. These past 4 years of living here in Minnesota have just been, that's all I can say is big sigh. There's been lots of ups, but there's been some really hard downs, and I'm gonna be honest, these past almost 3 months, on the 15th it'll be 3 months. April, May, June, July, yeah, it'll be 3 months. And it has been a toll on my mental health. But one thing that I realized was that Justin, my ex-husband, had stolen a lot of my self-worth, my self-love, and my peace. And since he's been gone and it's just been me and the kids, the kids haven't been listening to me, and the house looks like it's a freaking bomb blew off in it. But I'm not afraid to go home. I'm not afraid, has he been drinking? And I'm not hallucinating as often as I was. And my hallucinations are usually visual, audio, and tactile. I haven't had any tactile hallucinations in a long while, but there were times where I couldn't even look in the mirror because all I could see was rotting flesh off my body, like I was melting. And it would freak me out, and I wouldn't even look in the mirror. There were times I would brush my teeth off to the side on the doorway because I couldn't look in the mirror. And there was a lot of negative self-talk, I should say. There was a lot of self-hatred and self-doubt. I'm not going to blame it all on Justin because I have these issues on my own, regardless of who's creating drama for me. I struggle. With me becoming overweight, as big as I am now. I'll look at past videos when I first started this channel 13 years ago and see skinny me, and I'm just like, why can't I be her? But I'm taking the steps to better myself. And one of those ways is I go to my therapy sessions. I see a psychiatrist. I take my medication daily. We've had to adjust a couple times because sometimes they weren't working as well, but I keep in contact with the professionals and then supplement with the spiritual. So when I'm having a really hard time, especially my depression lately has been really bad, there have been times, I want to cry right now. There's been times where I just cry. I miss Justin because he wasn't all bad. He's a good father. He's funny. He's charming. But when he would drink, he'd just turn into this mean, hateful person. and it stole a lot of my peace. But I miss him because we had a lot of good times. And there will be times where I doubt myself, and I'm like, did I do the right thing calling the cops and putting him in jail? Did I do it right for my kids? Did I do it right for myself? And thankfully, I have the biggest cheerleader in my mom. I've been talking to my mom almost daily for the past 3 months. She's always checking up on me, like, how are you feeling today? Do you need to talk about anything? She'll send me, she likes to send me TikToks of ridiculous things that she finds, like funny memes and shit like that. And I am appreciative to her because she cheers me up. She knows I'm having a shitty time right now, and she's cheering me up. She will be here. So last month she was supposed to be here, but with the tornado that hit Central Texas, she couldn't. And she's supposed to come next week, next Monday. She'll be here. She showed me that she has her bags packed and is ready to go. And I remember you still got, like, this was like 2-3 weeks ago. She's like, oh, I never unpacked it from last month. I'm ready to go. And I'm so excited because my mom, even though we've had our issues, I look back and my mom's always been my biggest cheerleader. Like, I was I still think I am indecisive and reckless, and I was all these things, and she was always just supporting me, like, okay, let's steer this way. And if I ever talked down about myself, any self-deprecating humor, she's like, no. She would stop me in the middle of it. She's like, you are perfect, you are wonderful, and you are loved. And that's one thing that I appreciate about my mom, is that my mom is my biggest cheerleader. And I'm so blessed to have her as my mom, and I couldn't think of anybody better. Yes, we've had our issues where I really loathed my mom. I was hurt, but I healed from it. I brought it up, she apologized, and she changed her behavior. And that's all I ask is, change your behavior. If you really mean it, change your behavior. And it's just, I love my mom, and I'm excited. But I still have those feelings. And my hallucinations haven't been too bad recently. But there are times where I feel really overwhelmed and I start to cry. And one thing that I do is that I take solace in my practice. So it's Auntie Bean, Trish from Beadbag Hatwear. I say my care package, and I'm sure you guys have seen that one too. My joy mail. I wanted to share my joy. And in it was this big ass fucking jar of spiritual bath salts. And there are days where I feel so exhausted because I'm working 2 jobs. I'm trying to keep my 4 kids straight. I'm trying to clean the house. And I'm just like, I'm soup. Today I'm going to be soup. So I took the bath salts that she sent me, and I was soup. I was there with a bunch of petals and leaves that smelled divine, by the way. Trish, I'm so thankful to you. You made my day. And I will just soak in it for, like, not very long, like 15 minutes. About as long as it takes me to take a shower. Like, I clean myself first, then switch to bath mode, and then just relax. And at one point I fell asleep, which is not easy to do. I don't have a very big tub, and I'm a big girl, so I barely fit in this tub. But I fell asleep. I was so relaxed, and it was just like a warm embrace from these bath salts. So Trish, thank you. And I had to tell my son, these are mommy's bath salts, because he loves taking baths. He loves bath salts. And he will use all of it. So I'm like, these are mommy's, do not touch, I will kill you. But I've had to practice, like, be fully aware of the self-care that I'm doing about myself, not only physically, but spiritually. And there are times where there's just too much chaos, and it feels like a tidal wave is just hitting me over and over again. And with the oceans, I think of Yemaya, which is like the main deity, the Orisha that I venerate to. And when I feel overwhelmed with all these waves, because it makes me cry, it makes me depressed, it can really bring me down because I'm so overwhelmed. I just sit with Yemaya. I have a little blue tea light that I like to use, and I light it, and I just sit with her. That's it. I don't say anything. I just say thank you for sitting. Because sometimes that's all you need. You just need company. So everybody's schedule is hectic, so I don't get to see a lot of people. But when I remind myself, I have my Orisha to watch over me. So I always sit down, like especially when I'm overwhelmed, and I thank her, because I feel like it calms the waves. I feel like Yemaya is speaking to me and telling me this is just the storm in the middle of the ocean. Anchor within me. So I drop that anchor in Yemaya's waters, and I hold tight, and she gives me strength. I give myself strength, and it's been a rough few months, and I'm so thankful that this is one thing that I love about witchcraft, is that you don't have to feel guilt if you haven't prayed or anything. There's no guilt in my witchcraft. There's acceptance that right now things are not going where they're supposed to. I need to be more aware and more mindful. And sometimes I make checklists where I'm like, okay, brush your teeth. Like, I brushed my teeth for the first time yesterday in the past 3 months because I couldn't see myself in the mirror, and I was so depressed I could barely get out of bed. And I spend most of my time either at work or asleep, and I haven't spent time with my kids. And I'm so grateful to my kids because they understand. They're teenagers now, so they're kind of seeing what adult life is like. Lily just got a job in Burger King, and she's loving it, but she comes home tired, and so she's like, I understand. And so I'm so grateful to my kids as well, because they're very understanding, and they're very supportive, and sometimes they're just willing to just sit next to me and like cuddle me, and I'm okay with that because I like cuddles. And I'm so glad that they never grew out of cuddles, because that would suck. I mean, they're between 12 and 18 years old. You'd think they'd be done with cuddles, but I just go like this, yell a name and go like this, and they'll climb into my lap. And it's funny because they're all bigger than me. They're all taller than me. So there's just this giant child in my lap. Like, even the 12-year-old's taller than me. He's a freaking grown-ass man already. And he'll climb in my lap, and he'll blow raspberries in my neck. And that reminds me that everything in life is magical. I don't have to be at the altar all the time, because what I have is magical. I see the divine in my children because they're so kind and they're compassionate. Maybe not to each other, but with other people. They're respectful. They love to talk. They take after their mom at that. They love to talk. They'll talk about anything. They'll gossip. They'll be like, oh, girl, let me get some tea. I got some cheese, man. But I'm so grateful because everything in my life has been a blessing. Even the bad things, I had to learn the hard way, because I was an enabler, and that needed to stop, and I made it stop. And even the hard lessons, I have to remind myself that it's a blessing, because things could have gone south. It could have gotten worse if I hadn't put my foot down and finally listened to the red flags and to what divine was showing me, because I was getting signs. I was getting the Tower card, and then I got a Knight card. I don't remember if it was Pentacles or something, but the lady who was reading it, there's a man in your life that needs to be cut out. And I was just like, what man in my life that needs to be cut out? Without actually thinking, maybe, because I was so blinded by all the good stuff that he'd done. And I'm so thankful to my practice, because I can sit in my own sovereignty and realize I am a powerful and strong, independent person. Strong, independent person, and the power is within me to make these changes to better our lives. Do I know what those changes are? Absolutely not. I'm so not okay with the situation I'm in. The next court date isn't until the end of the month. And I'm cranky. I just want this done and over with. But I don't know what the universe wants from me yet. But I know that it wants me to love myself as well as my family. And I love my family unconditionally, even the weird ones. I don't care. I love everyone. You have to give me, like, my coworkers are always amazed at how calm I am when shit goes awry, because it takes a lot for me to get mad. It takes a lot for me to lose my cool. And that has to do a lot with my practice, because I used to be melodramatic as hell. I used to be very emotional, for lack of a better term. I was very reactive. Every time something went wrong, I would blow it up. And I would either cry, I would scream. I never threw anything, but I would make a scene, for lack of a better term. I would make a scene. But I don't do that now because of the mindfulness that I've taught myself within this practice, to take a deep breath for 4 counts, hold it for 7, release for 8. The 4-7-8 rule. And then reassess that situation logically. I don't always like it, but that's life. Life can be shitty, and you can either accept it and make it better, or accept it and keep living shitty. And I refuse to keep living shitty, so now I have all this fucking drama. Anyway, the schizophrenia part is what's been the biggest struggle, is because sometimes I have hallucinations of hearing voices, like a conversation, talking bad about me. But I replace it by saying out loud good things about me. And it's really hard, because it's like you're in a crowded room and you kind of overhear conversation. It's always fragmented, but I can tell they're talking bad about me. The thing is that those people do not exist. They might exist in the real world and I don't know them, but in my head, these people do not exist. So why is what they're saying important? It's not. Another one is a tactile hallucination, and I have that when I'm really depressed. It triggers something in my brain. I feel bugs on my legs, and it's, that sensation when there's a bug, that light, feathery, tingly, itchy feeling. I feel that all over my legs. And what I do is I swat, and then I look. I don't look at my legs. I swat my legs where I feel the sensation, and I look in my hand. If I see an actual bug in my hand, then I need to go get that checked out. But if there's nothing in my hand, then I know that feeling is a hallucination and the bugs aren't there. So sometimes my biggest helper has always been Yamaya, because I can come to her with anything. She is the mother. And when I struggle with my hallucinations, thankfully I haven't had any delusions, other than considering taking Justin back, which I won't do it. But it's been an interesting journey, especially these past, it's been 12 years now since I was last diagnosed, and it's been a struggle. Like, most people are like, oh, well, it's all in your head. Of course it's all in my head. It is my head. My head is making these things up. Oh, you just have to overcome it. It's not that easy. I have to take my medication every day or it's going to go, shit hits the fan. So, it's just very frustrating. And I just want to say, if you ever struggle with your mental health, get help if you can. Talk to someone. Even if it's just a simple, can you hug me? Can you hold my hand? Can you just sit here in silence with me? Because sometimes that's all I need. And I'm grateful that my kids see when I'm struggling and they give me hugs. And I've been surrounded by wonderful people all around town as well, like where I work. There's one girl who's a regular. She comes every Tuesday for pie, and we've come to become friends. And some of my coworkers have also been through the same situations I have, and maybe not the mental health part, but the domestic violence part. And they're like, we're here for you if you need something. We're here for you. And I'm so grateful that I have a good support system, both physically, emotionally, and thirdly, spiritually. I have that support of the divine, and I have to remember that I am divine. I am also a creature of divine. I'm a divine creature. So you are a divine creature. All of us are divine, and we just have to tap into that. Anyway, I've been rambling for the past 20 minutes, so I'm going to let you go. Yeah, if you want to hear more about my story with schizophrenia and my journey within this path, I have the videos linked below. And I hope you have a great day. Brightest blessings. I love you.